So what I have here is a failed part. This is out of a 2011 F150 with the 3.5 liter Ecoboost. And what this is this is the vacuum pump. Customer complaint was lack of brake assist. I'll show you briefly how this works. You got a 12-volt motor here, diaphragm with a head on each side, one there, one there. And what happens is here you have a head here. Below that you have a aluminum head gasket base kind of thing with your diaphragm underneath. This diaphragm's connected to the crank. Same on the other side. That plastic, this aluminum gasket base with another diaphragm. Now, how this failed was due to the crank seizing. This crank is so rusted that it seized solid, ended up blowing the fuse, a 40 amp fuse, resulting in its failure. Now, what's bad about this design is not just this aluminum base. What happened was this aluminum got so corroded that it eventually started splitting this fuse plastic. It started separating the fuse plastic, which would in fact result in a failure. Not why it failed this time though. Now this is 2011 and we're currently 2015. This only lasted 4 years and that vehicle only had 50,000 kilometers on it. This is just a bad design, engineered to fail. It's incredible. The other part of the bad design is this is the inlet for the vacuum. Comes through a port and then goes through the diaphragm one-way check valve and goes through the crank cavity. If you look here, you'll see the light. Now that goes to the other side of the diaphragm. The vacuum goes through this crank cavity, out the exhaust that's here in the center. Now that exhaust goes through the crank cavity. It's just ridiculous. Now all that air, all that moisture, anything that it sucks out, anything that's in the atmosphere that ends up being in the system gets sucked through here. When the engine's not running and the vehicle's parked, this is exposed to the atmosphere. And what happens is, this is in the lower front left of the bumper behind the headlight, below the headlight actually, and in the wheel well. So this is exposed to lots of road salt, humidity, harsh climate like we have up here in Ontario, which also contributed to the early failure of this. And look at this, even to the point where this is your exhaust, to the point where there's rocks in the intake or in the exhaust. It's just incredible. There's rocks in there, sand and rocks. It's just, look at that, engineered to fail. It's incredible. Just a bad design. This is over $500 and it only lasted 4 years. 50,000 kilometers on the vehicle. It's engineered to fail. Bad design. Why not make this lifetime greased? Don't put all the air through here. Do a different passages, different valving, different passages. Maybe not located in the front left of the bumper. It's just a bad design.